The dish I'm showing today is a trio of sliders. I'm going to be showing you 3 different types of burgers with accompaniments. Now, when we talk about burger, we want to elevate this to the highest level we can, and we're going to spruce this up and get really nice and tasty. First of all, I've got a mincer here. This is the electric mincer I have. I've got 3 mincers. I've got the electric one, I've got the attachment for the Kenwood, and I've got one that attaches itself to the water top as well. So I'm never stuck for which one to use. I'm going to start off with everything cold. This has just come out of the freezer, so everything is ice cold. I've got a lamb joint here, which I've just cut down into even pieces. You can see there's a nice level of fat to this as well, which we need in the burger to keep it moist. Now the yield here, it's going to be quite substantial, the burgers we're going to get, but I'll use it for today and reserve the rest for another day in the freezer. Start off with, again, an ice cold bowl. So I'm going to start feeding this into here. There is going to be a lot of noise, so I'm going to stop talking and just get on with it. So we have the lamb. You can see that the substantial quantity there of that just small quantity of diced lamb. Again, everything frozen, just slightly frozen for half an hour, 40 minutes, just so it firms up, so it comes out in nice strands rather than mushy. We want texture in this, and that's really important in a burger. Now the seasoning, really simple in this. What I've got here is some onion powder. We're going to let the lamb speak for itself. So I've got 1 teaspoon here first for our lamb burgers. I'm just going to season liberally with plenty of freshly ground salt and pepper. Now just very quickly and very carefully, we just want to incorporate our seasoning into the burger. We don't want to overwork it. We feel everything is lovely and nice cold. It's got a lovely fat content in there as well. You can just see that, just peppered through it. And there we have it. That is the lamb, good to go. For my next burger, I've got a lovely rump steak here. Now a rump steak has got good bite to it and good flavour. It's got a nice bit of fat in there as well, again, which is going to lead to a nice moist burger. So I'm going to mince this, same as the lamb, clean attachment on the machine, and stop talking. So there we have it. Not as much yield, but it's going to give us a nice couple of patties there for our slider. The remaining onion powder. Now the onion powder, actually purchased online. You can get onion salt in supermarkets, but bear in mind it is laden with salt. The onion powder is exactly what it is and gives a really nice flavour to any dish. Again, a few tons of black pepper in there. Some salt, and again being as gentle as we can until we've just incorporated all that seasoning into the burger without damaging the texture of our minced beef. And there we have it. Now I would recommend anyone buy any form of electric mincer rod, because they're really handy and really cost effective as well. So there we have our 2 minced meats. So the next part is going to be just shaping the patties themselves. So I'm going to start off with the lamb. I've chosen this size of ring. The reason being, it's exactly the same size as my little burger buns, which we'll get to soon. So onto the tray, I'm just going to take you can do it by hand as well, but this gives me an exact indication of size. And we just want to press that in just gently. Now we'll use up the rest later on. And for the beef. Now the cutter I used on the machine is a medium coarse. There is a coarser one, but I find this one works best texture wise for the burger. Now there we have the meat patties. Now I'm going to pop that into the fridge and we'll get on with the next burger. So now our burgers are chilling in the fridge. We've had a quick behind the scenes clean up, and with the remainder mince I've just made some more burgers and popped them into the freezer for another day. Now on to our third burger. I'm going to do like a KFC style chicken fillet burger. In front of me here I've got all my spices. I've just taken a wee bit of the chicken first of all and just trimmed it down so it's suitable to sit on our burger roll. Onto our spices, an abundance of spice for this coating. I've got on the plate ground ginger, marjoram, basil, thyme, celery salt, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, paprika, parsley and sage. And that's a teaspoon of each. Okay, it sounds quite a lot for this little burger, but I shall explain what to do. In my bowl, 150 grams of plain flour, in with all our spices. Just give that a little mix. There we have it. Now what you could do with this is you can make it beforehand and store it in an airtight container or a jar with a good seal lid on it, and just use what you need as and when. You can use it with fish, you can use it on beef. I'm not just saying restrict this to a chicken burger. You can use it for many things, and it's at hand then in the cupboard for you to use. So I'm going to take some of the spice mix. First of all, chicken into the milk. You could use egg if you wanted. It's either milk or egg white, even water. But what I would do is I'd use the whole egg. I don't really want to waste anything. So I'm going to take some of the spice mix onto our plate, because I won't need all of this and I'll reserve it for another time. Shake the excess of the chicken and into the seasoned flour. And we want to press that in really well. Now if you didn't have all these spices, if you only had some of them, that's fine as well. If you just wanted to do it with salt and pepper, that is perfectly acceptable as well. Shake off, back into the milk. Now all recipes ask for it just to be coated twice, but I like a good thick crunchy coating on there. So one more time into the milk and then back into our flour. Really press that in to get a nice coating on there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that in the flour for about 15-20 minutes just to absorb more flavour, more of the flour, and so we get a nice coating on there. Now for each one of my sliders, I've come up with 3 different accompaniments which are going to complement each burger. Now the beef burger, I'm going to keep it classic. I've got a burger sauce here from the sauce shop, and to that I'm going to add the classic pickle, which is going to give us our sharpness, which is going to cut into the richness of that patty, and of course the lettuce as well. Now I've got some lovely crushed lettuce here, which is going to give us that crunch. There's nothing worse than a soggy lettuce on a burger. There's no room for that. Now the cheese itself, I've got a manchego cheese, which is sharp and nutty, and it's going to really, again, complement that rich patty as well. But you can use whatever cheese you fancy, as long as, you know, it is worth just paying that little bit extra for it to accompany the flavour profiles of your burger. Now for the KFC style chicken, I'm doing a tomato salsa. So in front of me here, I've got 2 types of cherry tomatoes, which I've just roughly sliced. Now the word salsa just means salad, so there is no real ratios to it. You can put anything into the bowl and just taste it as you go along. So our cherry tomatoes, I finely chopped red onion, half a red chilli, squeeze a lime, and coriander. To the chicken burger as well, I've got some nice roasted garlic mayonnaise. Now we'll talk about that later on when we come to putting it onto the roll itself. Roasting of the garlic just sweetens it up a bit more and just mellows it down, so we've got a lovely garlicky, not overpowering sauce to accompany our chicken burger. The lamb burger, I'm going to do like a taking a guacamole. I've got some avocado and some feta cheese, and the feta cheese is going to be slightly salty and creamy at the same time, which is going to again cut into the richness of the burger. And to freshen that guacamole up, I'm going to add some fresh mint as well to that. Now for that burger, I'm going to cover the toasted bun with butter. Each slider is going to be protected with its own sauces. And we don't want to skimp on that. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly. We want to look at every different aspect of each burger and do it well. So, on with our salsa first of all. So I'll get some space here. Into the bowl, my cherry tomatoes. Next, a small red onion, finely chopped. To that, in with the chili. It's up to you how much chili you want to add, or even if you want to add it. It's really up to you. So if you want to use green chili, again, completely up to you. Freshen that up. Squeeze the lime juice. And now in with our coriander. Nice bunch of fresh coriander in there. Just really going to freshen things up. So simple. Just a couple of turns of salt and just a couple of turns of cracked black pepper. Even though we've got the chili in there, we've got 2 different types of heat and flavour. There we have it. Lovely colour, fresh and clean. Our next sauce is going to be our guacamole. So I've got a nice lovely ripe avocado here. If you buy them and they're not quite ripe, just pop them into a brown paper bag, leave them for a couple of days in the kitchen drawer, and you'll find that they're ripe in no time. Take our knife, just carefully until you hit the stone, and just work your way around till you've come all the way around, and then we can just twist off, and there we have it. Now I'm only going to use half of this. We can use the rest in a salad one day. To remove the flesh, you're going to take a nice sharp knife and just be careful not to go through the skin. You just want to score that into about a 5 centimeter dice and all the way around. And we just want to take a spoon and then see how that just all falls out in nice suitable chunks. Minimum waste. To that, I'm going to take my feta cheese and I'm just going to crumble it in, and it's just going to be served in whatever sizes the feta crumbles into. So that's going to add a salty touch to our guacamole. Now to go in with our mint. Just going to remove that from the stalks. And in with the mint. You would have heard that slicing sound. The coriander as well has just been sliced to once. I'm going at it about 10 times over and over again, otherwise we'd just be left with a flavoured chopping board. Another squeeze of lime. Touch of salt. Good few tons of black pepper. And just a touch of minced garlic, maybe a small clove. I've just realised now that I'm going to take this salsa back into the scene. I'm going to add the other small clove of garlic. Another mix. One final mix now. You can see already 2 bowls, the lovely vibrant colours. So there we have our salsa for the chicken burger, our guacamole for the lamb burger. So all that's left to do now is fry our burgers. Now to fry our burgers, we're going to fry the 3 burgers in one go. Got a nice hot griddle pan here. It's going to give us nice griddle marks. So first of all, on with our lamb burgers. I just want to give them a couple of minutes on either side. I'm not going to start tampering with them or moving them, because that's the danger then of the burgers sticking to the pan. Our chicken now, it's almost, it has fried on the outside. It's really sucked up all that herby flour. And we want to pop that into our hot oil. You can do this in a deep fat fryer if you wanted, but I'm just doing it in the pan itself because I don't want to really ruin the oil in the fryer just for a couple of bits of chicken. So we're about halfway through now, and if you can just see the edge of the burger here, that gives you an indication of how you're coming along cooking wise. That's in 1 minute now. Same with the chicken fillets. We're just going closely around the edges for a light browning. So now that we've had a good couple of minutes, we're going to just have a wee. Yeah, it's lovely. That's the lamb burgers. Now, ideally we'd want to cook these on separate pans, because we don't want the flavour of the lamb going into the beef burger. But the saving grace with this pan is that we've got the griddle lines on there, so any fat's just going to seep beneath the griddle itself and elevate the burgers. and that will give us our Scotch marks. Now the chicken fillet, nice and golden brown. That's just going to take another minute and a half, and then we'll weaken off the pan and plate up. Now the rolls from the sliders I've home baked. Now if you can find a nice burger roll from the bakery, then happy days. This morning I've spent time looking at the right size for the sliders. So from the raw batch, I've worked on 65 gram, 75, 85, and I'm happy with the 95 gram rolls. Now there's a nice size for our burgers, and they're just so light they almost float off camera. Now when it comes to cutting the rolls, I'm going to toast these just lightly on the griddle. Toasting the roll is just going to bring it back to life, just give it that little bit more of an edge to it. And for cutting it, what you'll find with the roll is the heavier part is obviously at the bottom, the lighter part at the top. So for cutting this, I want to go like a 60-40. So I want to cut it about there. So the 40% is on the bottom, 60 on the top. And what I've done with the dough is, usually it's made with water and the oil and the salt and the sugar and the flour, but I've made this to make that wee bit richer. I've made it with full milk to give it a richer feel to the dough. Now even though I've kept this fairly plain, you could add different flavours to the rolls as well. If you wanted to add some chopped jalapeno peppers into that, or some crispy fried onions, some dried herbs, it's really up to you, but I've just kept this plain. So I'm going to pop these onto the griddle and just get them nice and toasted. So now it's time to construct our sliders. So I'm going to start off with our classic burger. I'm going to take our toasted roll, and I'm going to, on both sides, top and bottom, a generous amount of our burger sauce. And what that's going to do is it's going to protect our roll. We don't want that becoming soggy. And now we're going to take a nice crisp leaf, but I'm going to add 2 to that. Press that down so it sits nice, along with some nice piquant gherkins. Sit nice. I'm going to take our burger, and you can see how lovely and juicy that burger is. So we're building the flavour profiles there, and to secure that, a nice neat cocktail stick through. That is our first classic burger. The second one is going to be our chicken burger, our KFC style chicken burger. So first of all, I'm going to take our roasted garlic mayo. Again, same rule applies. A generous amount top and bottom, right to the edges. I can't be doing with people who don't spread butter or sauces to the edge of the dish. Our first chicken fillet. You hear how lovely and crisp that is. And with another touch of garlic mayo. Remember, it's roasted garlic mayo, so it's just been mellowed down but still bursting with lovely garlicky flavour. and now just topped off with our lovely fresh salsa. I want to get some of our yellow tomatoes in there as well. Top done. Secured again. So we'll have a bit tidy up here. And our final burger, which is our lamb burger. Now for this, I'm going to use butter. So I want that buttery flavour to work well with our lamb. And since we're working with butter, again to the edge, I don't want to skimp on it. If we're going in, we're going all in. Absolutely beautiful. So our lamb burger now. Can you just see how lovely and juicy that is? So we'll take our avocado and feta salsa. And secure. So here's my trio of sliders. The classic burger with a burger sauce, my KFC style chicken with a tomato salsa, and my lamb burger with an avocado and feta guacamole. Enjoy.